And give a round of applause for exclusive Black Status presenter, Angela Callisto.
Hi, everybody. I was told, I'm just going to talk over the music. That's going to make me go faster, so I wait. We need to dance. We need to dance? Come on, it's missing. I was told that I need to speak a little longer today, so I'm going to try. Yesterday I wrapped it up a little bit early, and I know this is the last class today, and everybody's got team meetings and stuff that they want to get to, and it's hot and sticky outside, so if I wrap up early, just nobody tell Julie. Okay? Nobody tell Julie. All right. I am Angela Callisto. I'm a Black Status presenter. I'm from Buffalo, New York. I am not from New York, New York. A lot of people think that I am, and they're like, I'm in the city. Let's have lunch. I'm like, I'll see you in 6 hours. Okay. So, these are my people. Those are my kids and my husband, and they are the reason that I do everything. And they're a part of my story no matter what I'm talking about, so I wanted to take a second and show them off. Because they are my heart and soul, right there. And I post about them all the time. More people know my daughter than know me. So. True. All right, so the power of purposeful leadership. Like, what does that even mean, right? We're gonna start with something a little bit easier for you guys and for me. I just want you guys to think about what your goals are today. And you know how, I'm gonna talk a lot today about maybe realigning some of those goals to be maybe a little bit more meaningful. So just think about it for a second. Like, what is your goal? Is it a status? Is it a certain amount of money every month, every week? Is it a new house? Is it a new car? Or is it something a little bit different? Okay. If you set a status, if you said how to make a certain amount of money every week, I'm not going to help you do those things today in the way that maybe some other classes will teach you. We're going to talk about being a purposeful leader versus being a manager. So that was me about 15 years ago with my little boy. And then that was me 2 years ago being recognized as a Black Status presenter. And that person in both of those pictures is the exact same person. The only thing that changed within me is because of everything that happened in between, but I am still that same exact everyday person there and there. What did happen in between for me was a whole lot of jobs. I was a nail tech, and then I became a salon owner. I was an artist. I was a graphic designer. I worked and specialized in web design and search engine optimization. I was and still am a custom newborn photographer, and now I'm a Black Status presenter as well. I tell everybody all the time that I did not hit Black Status in 77 days. I hit Black Status in 20 years. So my journey of all of those jobs led me to hit that join button and then be able to expand my business as fast as I did. But what you saw in my journey of 77 days wasn't the truth. That's the truth. I've never had a job that I couldn't show up for. You know, like you get up and you're hungover, or you're tired, or your kids are sick, and you think, I'm just gonna call it. I never had that luxury. If I called in when I was booked solid as a nail tech, there were 10 people that were put out because of me. So my responsibility meter just never allowed me to do that. I worked sick, I worked hungover, don't tell corporate. Then when I was a salon owner, I had my clients, and then I had all of my employees to deal with, which if you know anything about salons, and women in general, you're spending every day with, say you have 10 employees, it's really like 40 because they all have 4 different personalities. So, and then on top of that, the clients. So if I called in, it was chaos. Same thing, with web design and search engine optimization, I had deadlines. I had things that I had to get done on time. As a newborn photographer, well, who's gonna pose that baby if I'm not there? It's the same thing as a Black Status presenter. Sorry, I am taking a little extra time today, so I'm really off my mark. All right. I didn't say that any of these things were easy. You know, I had to become that person who had a responsibility meter that was higher. I had to step outside of my comfort zone to build relationships with people, to have the clientele that I had as a nail tech, to have the clientele that I had at my salon, to maintain the clientele of some of my stylists who maybe weren't so nice all the time, and you know, keep those clients coming back into the door. So what I was doing was I was building relationships all that time. And it was uncomfortable. You know, I had to physically go up and say hello to people. I had to, you know, do all of this stuff face to face. So I had to get comfortable being uncomfortable. I had to get confident when I was uncertain. I had to learn not to give up because something was hard. I don't know if any of you guys work in a salon or know people's journeys, but I sat in a salon from 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, and then all day on Saturday doing nothing, making nothing, money-wise. But I met a lot of people, and I gave away a lot of free services, and it was hard, and I couldn't pay my bills, but I did it, and eventually I grew my clientele to a point where I could open my own salon. And you push through those challenges, and pushing through those challenges are what ultimately make you grow. Oh, wait. So, as a leader, right, getting away from what I did, and let's start talking about what we all do. As a leader, we have people who come to us every single day, and they ask us for all the words to say. What do you say to book a party? What do you say to sponsor? What do you say when somebody replies with this? What do you say when somebody's not happy with their products? You know, what do I say to support to get them to do what I want? I mean, every day we are asked for the words to say, and then when we give those words, and we have found a solution for our presenters, for somebody on our team, like, we feel accomplished. We feel like, yeah, a pat on the back, we did a great job as a leader today, right? They ask us for the speech, the elevator speech. And there are so many classes here that are going to teach you, you know, those words to say, you know, how to do all of those things. And there's so many trainings. I mean, there's training in a team group every single day that talks about the words to say. There's booking blitzes every single day. Go send this to 10 people. But I'm not here to talk about those things, because to me, purposeful leadership is about so much more than giving the words to say. Managers and leaders are very, very different, right? Managers are, you know, we as managers, and we have to be both, we can give the party scripts, we can give all the words to say, we can give the tasks every single day. Go do this, go do this, go do that. That's what a manager does. A leader, especially in this, is so much more, because this business is 24/7. So what do we say to our team members after we tell them to go and send those 10 messages while they're waiting, right? That gut rot. Oh my gosh, they saw the message, they haven't replied yet. Right? That's where the leadership steps in, because that's when you have to talk them through that stuff. You can't just say, well, just wait a minute, or just go send 10 more. That's being a manager again. But as a leader, you can talk to them about how they're feeling. Like, don't worry about it. As a leader, you need to be relatable, adaptable, and accessible. I try to be all of those things every single day, right? Because I want to show everybody I'm just like you. I am just like you. I have struggles. I have good days, I have bad days, I have bad weeks, I have bad months, and I have bad years. And I talk to my team when I'm in a rut, when the 20 hats that I'm juggling on a daily basis, and one of them flies off into the wind, into a ditch, in the mud, run over by a car somewhere, and the rest of them seem to fall down around me, and I feel paralyzed because something went out of order. And I can't find that energy to go and be screaming and excited and encouraging. I go live and I tell my team, like, I am having a hard time, and this is why, but I'm going to work through it. And then I share with them how I'm working through it. And I can't even tell you, they're probably my most watched lives in my team group, my most responded to lives in my team group, and my most private messages. Thank you so much, because I was feeling the same way. A lot of times people look at leaders and they think we're robots. We're not. We're not. We just do those hard things. I purposely share all of these things because if I can help one person who maybe is feeling the same way as I am, then it's worth it. I'm going to skip over adaptable and get back to that in a second. Accessible, okay? I'm not a celebrity. None of us are. You know, I see it out there all day, every day. You know, people, somebody said to me last night, actually, she sat through my class yesterday and she came to me in tears last night and she said, I will never forget when I first sent you a message. And it went to my others folder because we had a mutual friend, but we weren't friends. And I opened it. She's like, you opened it and you replied to me within like 10 minutes. She was like, and I sat there and I cried. And I told my husband, like, oh my God, Angela Callisto she didn't just see my message, she responded to me. I'm like, why would you cry? Why would you think that I wouldn't respond to you? I want to be accessible to my team. I want to be accessible to be able to help everybody. Like, I am not unapproachable. I mean, sometimes my face may look like it, but I'm not. I'm just socially awkward. So, all of my messages always start with, I hate to bother you. I know you're so busy. And unless you're messaging me to ask me, how do I set up a Facebook group or how do I set up a party, which I have YouTube videos for, and I know I tagged you in that. You know, come to me, bother me, talk to me about what it is that you're struggling with. That's what I'm here for. Okay, and then adaptable. This is probably the hardest one because I mean, I've been in this a little over 3 years and our business changes every day. Corporate loves to throw new things at us. And we have to adapt to those things. And we as leaders have to adapt to them so that we can help everybody else adapt to them. Changes in our business, every single new person that comes into our team, right? I mean, it's like you get your flow going, you got your core values, you got your community, and then suddenly there's somebody new who, you know, maybe posts a lot and maybe, you know, kind of changes the flow. Well, we have to adapt to those things. We have to introduce them to our community. We wind up in new environments, we get new social media platforms, again, product changes, new products, they take stuff away, and you can sense a culture shift, and nothing freaks me out more than when I feel that culture shift within my team. So I have to work to adapt and get back on track. Oh dear, here we go. This is a slideshow of some people on my team. Sorry, wasn't my earring, it's my finger. And some of my leaders, and they're with their wives, and I just wanted to show them off because I showed you my family at the beginning of this, but they are also my family. I love them with my heart and soul, and I can only fit so many in the slideshow, and I'm going to talk longer than that plays anyways, but I want to see them reach every single goal that they have. And I say it very often that my life would be extremely empty without all of them. I had no idea how much I needed them in my life until this. They're my friends. I know their kids' names. I know when most of their children had their last year infections. I know their struggles financially. I know their personal struggles, emotional. I know what goes on in their homes. I know, you know, maybe they moved to a new town. Maybe they're having a hard time, you know, making new friends. And I don't know all these things because I spent the last 3 years managing them, giving them party scripts. I know all of these things because even though they started out as strangers, they became my tribe. They became my community. They became my support system just as much as I support them. I don't think they really have any idea how much they support me. And it's hard for me to be up here because, you know, I mentioned I'm socially awkward, and I am. I'm not looking at anybody's faces. I'm looking way over your heads right now. I'm an introvert, and I share that with my people, and Yesterday morning when I had to speak, I got messages from them saying, you know, we're here for you. We're going to show up for you today. And that means so much to me because they have truly supported me through the worst times of my life. And they give me a reason every single morning to get up and keep going with everything that I do. Since I hit the join button, I have literally suffered the worst times of my life. And I have to read this, otherwise I'm going to derail. I have suffered some of the greatest losses. I have been on a journey of learning to go on every day after those losses, of learning to love myself. It has been loss, love, despair, triumph, more loss, betrayal, self-love, rising up, devastating loss, crippling loss. But every single day, I wake up for them, and I show up for them no matter what I am going through. Because one of them hit purple when I was suffering one of what I thought was the hardest loss of my life. But I got up every single day, and I cheered her on and the rest of my team, because what happened if I didn't show up? What would happen to my team? What would they think? They knew what I was going through. They didn't expect me to show up, but I showed up for them. Whether I was sitting on my couch, bawling my eyes out, or not, I showed up for them. So many people hit elite while I was still grieving that loss, and then one of my dear friends passed away, 33 years old, leaving 5 children behind suddenly. And I didn't know if I was going to completely derail after that one. But every day I'd get up and I would say, but my team, my people, I have to show up for them. Countless yellows, pinks, blues, fast starts, milestones, while I was going through turmoil from betrayal from somebody who was close to me, not my husband. One of them hit black while I was going through a legal battle behind the scenes that consumed me. I stayed up every night. I had no idea what the future held for me. If you've ever been through a legal battle, you can understand. But I still showed up every single day, no matter what was going on in my life, because my issues were not as important as my entire team. Another one hit black while I was trying to save my father's life, trying to figure out what was happening to him. Still going through that legal battle, dealing with all of that. But I still showed up every single day. They gave me the reasons to keep going. They gave me the reasons to show up. Their goals, their whys, gave me a reason. I didn't use what I was going through as a reason to shut off. I used their goals as a reason to show up. It's what I do. Like I said, I've never had a job where I had the luxury of just not having to show up. And when my dad did die, they all showed up for me. Corporate moved the launch of the Plus. They announced the Cody merger, and I was paralyzed from grief. And I went to go into my team and talk to them, and they had all posted for me already. And they were giving all of the information. They took over all of the encouragement, and countless messages from them saying, this time, you take your time. You have shown up for us every single day. It's our turn to show up for you. So, they are my tribe. Originally, I wanted to name this class Quit Being So Bossy, because I truly believe that if I spent the last 3 years bossing them around, I would not have the team and the community that I have. This business is personal. We live it. It is 24 hours a day, and sometimes life is not easy. It gets messy. Kids get sick. They have to have surgeries. People get divorced. You got to take your family trips. And people die. To me, purposeful leadership is not about having or knowing all of the words to say. It's not about knowing everything. It's about being open. It's about building those relationships and saying, yeah, sometimes life sucks, but we show up anyways. And we bond together and band together, and we get through all of that together. A purposeful leader creates the culture where people feel validated, uplifted, supported. She encourages, she stays positive, and she puts negativity in its place. Because you ever wonder why we delete all those negative comments? It's not because leaders want to be mean or jerks or not let you have your voice about something that maybe you're upset about. You're upset that something was discontinued. You're upset about website glitches. Take it to your sponsor. Take it to your elite leader. Take it to your Black. You have the right to do that, but what you do not have the right to do is take it into a group where thousands of women, for a lot of them, that's the only positive thing they have in their life. So you do not have the right to rain negativity all over them. Oh. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. A lot of leaders, people think that they can be everything to every single person that comes onto their team, and the truth is that you just can't. We can't. Hang on, I'm gonna take this out. Some people go into leadership and they think I'm green. I'm gonna make my own group. I'm not gonna add anybody else to my Black upline, or I'm Black. I don't need help from anybody. Kind of close them off. Unless your leader is one of those negative people who needs their posts deleted, why? Why would you do that? You create your own community, but they're part of a much larger community of people. My sponsor, Chantel, I don't know if my team knows Chantel Schreier. We could not be more different. I mean, people call us the yin and yang of the team. You know, she is all namaste, and I am all like, crush it! But she loves my team. Why would I ever block them off from her leadership or her love or the community that she has created? Why would I do that? I got my own community. She has hers, and they benefit from both of them. I had to learn how to lead, and because Chantel and I are so different, you know, she was leading in her own way, and I was leading in my own way, and I'm still learning. I didn't wake up green and think that I knew everything. I didn't wake up Black and think that I knew everything. I am not standing here today thinking that I know everything. When they emailed me and asked me to speak this year, I had to leave last year. I mean, I still presented via video. And I was like, no, I'm good. I even messaged Tori, I was like, I'm good. I was not there to present, but I really feel like I presented. And she didn't let me off the hook. And then I thought I was speaking with someone, and then I found out like in the 11th hour that I was actually up here all by myself, and I was like, oh no, And I called Rob Morris, and I cried. And I was like, I can't do this, you're crazy, no. And he was like, let's click it down, Angela. Okay, come on, let's talk this through. And he's like, what do you want to talk about? And, you know, I told him, I said, you know, no matter what you go through, you know, you show up. Show up for your team, you show up for your community, you show up for your people, no matter what. I hear it all the time. People come to me and say, you know, I'm having a hard time. You know, I haven't been working my business, you know, because of this or that. And I'm like, This is the first time I've ever listed out, well, besides yesterday, everything that I have been through in the past 3 years, and it's only a tiny little bit of it. I mean, somebody said it here, you know, I think it was Lauren just said it today. You know, you come to me with your hardships or your excuses as to why. I'm going to show you somebody who's got a bigger excuse, but she's still doing it. So Rob and I had this very long talk, and he gave me this gift of this quote after we got done talking about how I feel about my team. And I don't even want to call it my team, my community. And I think it sums this up perfectly. Leadership is not about taking charge. It is about taking care of those in your charge. And for 3.5 years, this is what I have tried to do. And then they turn around and they do it for me every single day too. And 80% of success is about just showing up every day. Did I make it on time? Is Julie gonna yell at me? I saw her leave.
5 minutes.
5 more minutes? No, we're done. We are done. We are done. Thank you, everybody. Go get ready for your team parties. Have fun tonight.